Take the issue of teacher workload. Hours are unsustainable. But here is the key point for politicians to grasp. Teaching's always been long hours, not as long as now, but it's always been long hours. But long hours preparing exciting lessons for students is not the same as unsustainable hours spent preparing evidence of work you've already done. So to take just 2 examples from the dozens we could discuss, so many teachers tell me their head requires them to hand in detailed lesson plans on a Sunday covering the whole of the next week. Now, to someone outside the profession, that might not sound unreasonable. It's clearly a good thing to be prepared and to plan. However, teachers know that whilst you can have a broad plan covering the topics and the teaching methods, the degree of detail required in these plans is simply impossible. Unless you are omniscient, you cannot plan to the nth degree a lesson you are teaching on a Friday afternoon on a Sunday because of the inconvenience of 30 other human beings being in the room with you. You can't know how things will go. Yet so many teachers are forced to spend their weekends preparing plans to no educational purpose. Most of the heads who insist on these plans do nothing with them except file them for an Ofsted inspector to possibly ask for. And so many teachers tell me their heads require them to take photos of practical work, to print those photos out, to stick them in children's books and to annotate them. Why? For no educational purpose, but in order to provide proof that you did the practical work. Proof. Who for? Not for the children. They did the work. Not for you. You were there with them. The proof is for local authority advisors or Ofsted inspectors who won't accept your word, who won't trust you. Well, when working hours are so high and leading to such problems with recruiting teachers, this is very wrong. How do teachers react to this work? Many teachers tell me they plan lessons that they hand in on a Sunday that they have no intention of delivering. There is the plan on paper that you give to the head. Then there's the real plan, the responsive plan that responds to how the children have learnt, which may be written in a scrapbook, may be on the back of an envelope, might not get written down at all. But that's the real plan. Teachers tell me that photographing practical work gets in the way of their work. So they set the photographs up before the day begins, with it using a TA's hands to imitate a student's hands. Other teachers tell me that if they miss a photograph with a particular child, they set the photograph up the next morning. And I tell you, this is weird, isn't it? These teachers are trying to concentrate on what matters, teaching their children, but they are making these sacrifices to the great God of evidence. So this is the ludicrous place we have reached. Plans of lessons that were never delivered to prove that the lesson was planned. Photographs of events that didn't happen to prove that events that weren't photographed did happen. I tell you, this workload has to go, and it has to go now.